Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here with us. When people begin to talk about the background of the Fujikage, the conversation often starts with the simple point his place of birth. He was born in Okayama Prefecture, a region known for its calm atmosphere, open landscape, and a pace of life that allow for reflection. This detail may appear straightforward at first, yet when he look more carefully at beginner to offer a gentle context for understanding how his perspective and musical sensitivity may have developed over time. Okayama is not typically described as a center of intense urban city. Instead, it is often associated with balance, with a connection between everyday life and the surrounding environment. Growing up in such a place that can influence how a person observes the world, rather than being constantly surrounded by noise or rapid can change. There is a space to notice smaller details, to listen more careful, and to experience time in a slight different way. These qualities can quietly shape the same someone approach creativity expression. In discussion about his early years, there is also a frequent mention of this exposure to music from a young age. This is not presented as a sudden or a dramatic turning point, but rather as a natural part of the daily life. Music was represented not as something distant or formal, but as something accessible and continues. This kind of environment can encourage curiosity instead of feeling that music is something to be measured all at once. It becomes something to explore gradually. One of the aspects that people often find meaningful is the idea that his development did not follow a single fixed path rather than moving directly toward a specific goal from a beginning. It appeared that his interest in music expanded through experience, listening, practicing, and experiment, all contributed in some small way. Over time, these small steps began to connect, forming a broader understanding. When observers describe his childhood, they sometimes use the phrase hidden truth, but it is important to approach it carefully. There is no indication of a single secret, even that define everything that followed. Instead, what can be seen is a series of influences that work together quietly. Family environment, access to music, and personal curiosity all played a role. Each of these elements may seem ordinary on its own, yet together they create a foundation of that sport. Another point worth considering is how early exposure to different type of music can shape listening habit. When someone encounters a wide range of sound during his formative year, it becomes easier to move between styles without feeling restricted. This flexibility is often reflected in later work where different influences appear naturally rather than being forced together. In the case of Fujika, the listener often notice a blend of elements that feel connected rather than separate. It's also important to recognize the role of independence in his development. While guidance and support can provide direction, the ability of explore idea personally is equally significant. When someone tasks the time experiment without strict limitation, they begin to form their own perspective. This perspective may not always align with expectation, but it often leads to originality. In conversation about his past, there is sometimes an emphasis on the idea of uniqueness, however, rather than viewing this as something as separate from ordinary experience. It may be more accurate to see it is an extension of it. Unique expression often grow out all of familiar situations shaped by the own way an individual respond to them. In this sense, the environment does not determine the outcome directly, but it provides the condition at which growth can occur. As his career began to take shape, this early influence remained present even can the context change. Moving from the local environment to the broader audience introduce new challenges, including expectation and visibility. Despite this, there is a sense that core approach demand consistency. The same situation to detail, the same balance between simplicity and depth continue to guide his work. The continuity is significant because it suggests that this development is that not only replacing earlier experience but also about building on them. The foundation establishing during childhood does not disappear. Instead, it purpose support a new layer of understanding. Each new experience add to what already exists, creating a more complexity yet stable structure. From a listener perspective, this can be felt in such a way his music unfolds. There is often a sense of ease as through the element are naturally connected. This does not mean that the process behind it is simple. On the contrary, it reflects a long period of gradual in refinement. This simplicity that is hard to the result and many decisions made over time. Returning to this idea hidden truth, it becomes clear that the face does not refer to something concealed or dramatic. Rather, it is point to aspects that are not immediately visible. There are the small details, the quiet influence, and the gradual development that do not attract attention at first but become meaningful when viewed together. Understanding this perspective allows for a more balanced view on his background. Instead of searching for a single defining moment, it becomes possible to appreciate the accumulation of experience. Each element, no matter how small, contribute the overall picture over time. This contribution from the coherent narrative. In reflecting on this, there is a shift from curiosity about the unknown to an appreciation of what is already present. The focus moves from seeking hidden explanation to recognition visible pattern. This approach aligns with the way his music is often experienced, where meaning is not imposed but discovered through listening. As the discussion continues, it becomes less about uncovering something secret and more about understanding how different elements comes together. The place of birth, the environment, the early exposure of music, and the gradual development of skill play a role. None of these factors alone explain everything, but together they provide it a framework. Ultimately, what stand out there's a sense of continuity from early experience in Okayama to later on a large stage. There is a thread that connects each stage. There is a note visible at first, but it becomes clearer over. This thread is formed by consistency, attention, gradual learning, and openness to exploration. By approaching this topic in this way, the narrative becomes both grounded and expansive. It avoids aggregation while still offering depth. It allows for curiosity without relying on speculation, and most importantly, it reflects the idea that meaningful development often happens quietly through steady and continuous effort. Thank you for watching the video.